England taking on New Zealand in Dunedin on Saturday, hoping to become only the third England team to beat the All Blacks in New Zealand. Last time they did it was in 2003. Will Greenwood was in that team and he is with us now. He was probably still at school in those days. Thinking about 30, Will, weren't you? How will they fare on Saturday? There was encouraging signs, weren't there, against Japan at the weekend, but this is, what, 3 steps up?
First of all, can I thank you for a career highlight to be mentioned in the same breath as the king that is Wayne Rooney. In terms of the weekend, it's a mouth-watering trio of games, really. I know we're focusing in the next couple of minutes on New Zealand, England, but followed up by Australia, Wales. Australia, Joe Smith in charge. Wales under Gatland under a huge amount of pressure. Remember, after the Six Nations, Warren Gatland offered his resignation almost on the spot. That was turned down, so he's back in the saddle and they're trying to rebuild the squad that can go well in a World Cup in 2 or 3 years. And then we finish with a game, South Africa-Ireland, where there's been so much chat. Erasmus has picked 12 World Cup finalists to play Ireland in the afternoon. Ireland have picked a couple of new faces. Osborne's playing fullback at regularly as centre, but they think they have been the best team in the world for 2 or 3 years, but failed at the quarter-final stage again. And been a lot of chat between Victor Matfield and I know Sam Warburton said that Ireland are the best. So there's just so many subplots, and it kicks off with an absolute banger at 8:05 on Saturday morning. Scott Robertson, can you call someone the best coach in the world before they've coached international rugby? Probably not, but he's right up there, and he took Crusaders to 5 or 6 Super Rugby titles in about 7 years. His first squad, a few changes. Some lads have gone to Japan, some lads have retired, so he's got a new look squad. And then England, building. I think it's harsh to say building now. I mean, I think they are a really good team. They've created strong culture, strong dog, a little bit of subtlety and guile. They've got a couple of rock star players who can pull rabbits out of hats. It is going to be an absolute belter.
It is fair to say they're building, Will, isn't it? Because for a start, the playmaking section of the team is completely different from, say, 12 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah, I think so. Look, Borthwick is a 5-year plan kind of guy. He came in, it has to be 5 years, he came in 9 months before the World Cup, didn't feel enough time, and yet made a semi-final, 15-6 up against South Africa. He's nuts and bolts kind of coach. Get the set piece sorted, try and shore up the defence a little bit, and then slowly but surely put a couple of sparkly bits on the cake. And that's what he's doing. He's backing youth. I mean, on the bench, Finn Smith and Ollie Slytone due to win his first cap. In the back line, Feo Bosa only got 4 caps. Tommy Freeman, 9 caps. Alex Mitchell feels like someone who's been around for ages, but 16 caps. So he's not afraid to give these guys a go. And then he's built a pretty powerful unit up front. Joe Marler comes back in with Will Stewart on the tight end. Itoje and Martin will back themselves against anyone. And then just a really dynamic back row. Cunningham South getting huge amounts of plaudits from absolutely everyone who's watched him play. Underhill chops down trees, which he'll need to when Big Geordie Barrett and Rico Ioane come crashing up the middle from off the top lineup. And then Ben Earl is one of those players, throw him any shaped ball and he'll smash it, catch it, run after it. He's so ubiquitous in terms of his talent, and he's right at the top of his game. So it's a fascinating game because New Zealand are a brilliant rugby team, but they've got a whole heap of change. They've got a brand new coach, and they haven't had a hit out. England obviously had the Six Nations, then a little break, then they've had a super game against Japan. I mean, it really was 8 out of 10, 8 tries. A little bit clunky once the subs came on. But in terms of the meat of the game, the first 60 minutes, Smith was in complete control. The pack dominated the set piece. They were pretty ferocious at the breakdown. They're coming into it just with a sort of game under their belts. So, it's very. I mean, the bookies got 6-1 on. I don't know where they've got that price from on the back of what's just taken place or hasn't taken place according to which campaign. It's too tight to say 6-1 on.
Marcus Smith said this week that he wasn't really ready to be a fully fledged international player when he was first brought into the England squad by Eddie Jones, but he feels ready now. Do you recognise that?
It's amazing. So you can often let the facts fit the story fit the facts. You know, he didn't start great. He had a couple of big moments, but his control of Test match rugby got away from him. He's brought in, I think, at fly half to play against France, and England got beaten by 50. And you're not blaming one player, but it's just in that tumultuous period where Borthwick wasn't quite sure of his team. They hadn't quite bought into his ideas. They came, I think, 5th in the Six Nations, or only won 2 games. They might have finished 4th. They only won 2 games in the Six Nations. And then he's had a little bit more time to settle. The pack have developed. So I think Marcus's journey to settle has actually probably mirrored Steve Borthwick's teams, and now he's much more secure in his place, in his understanding of the style of the relatively strictish parameters. If you don't know if strictish is a real word, really, are you strict or aren't you? You can't be half strict, but strictish parameters in terms of their kicking game and the areas of the field where they have to kick and they stick to kicking. But there just feels a little bit more ownership, player ownership now in the past 4 or 5 months, where, do you know what? It's on from the 22, go play what's in front of you. And you feel like that's just taken a little bit of time for players and coaches in the England squad to earn each other's trust. And I think they're there now. It doesn't mean they're a world-beating team. I'm not sat here saying they're the world-best team. But I think now England are is this a compliment? They're a really bloody difficult team to beat, which gives you a chance every time you take the field, no matter who you're playing against.
Yeah. Will, thank you. Pleasure to have you on as always, and you're in my Wayne Rooney stratosphere every day of the week. Thanks very much.
I will take that for the right reasons.
Yeah, indeed. He mentioned Ireland. They've named uncapped fullback Jamie Osborne in the team to face South Africa in Pretoria on Saturday. Osborne plays for Leinster. He fills the position usually occupied by his clubmate Hugo Keenan, who is currently preparing for the Paris Olympics with Ireland's Sevens team. The other big selection issue, scrum half Craig Casey gets the nod to replace the injured Jamison Gibson Park. So, as Will was saying, great day of rugby live on Sky Sports on Saturday. New Zealand, England, Australia, Wales and South Africa against Ireland.